Hey there, so my name is Jess Powers and I'm going to do a map view overview of the Elmhurst neighborhood of Providence. But first we're going to talk about, in general, just get the lay of the land. I always love to do a nice little Google Earth view. So Providence is made up of a bunch of different neighborhoods, and so if you're moving to Providence, there's a lot of different things that you need to know. All of these neighborhoods have completely different feels, completely different budgets, and so that's what I'm here for, to talk you through this. I've got people that are moving all the time from other parts of the country, and I absolutely love it. I love to hear from people and be able to have these one-on-one consultations with people and say, hey, let's talk about what your priorities are, what you're looking for in a neighborhood, what your budget is, and let me help you figure it out. I can pinpoint exactly the neighborhoods, the areas that will be best for you. So if you're curious about the Elmhurst neighborhood, let's talk about these different areas of Providence, because I think it's really helpful if you get, geographically, if you understand what you're looking at. So let's scroll out a little bit. So we've got all of Providence here. Of course, we've got Cranston to this side. We've got Johnston, we've got Lincoln, we've got North Providence, we've got Pawtucket over here, and we've got East Providence. And we've got the Providence River that heads down into the bay, and the Seekonk River, which joins up with the Providence River. So right over here, this is the east side of Providence. This is where most people are familiar with RISD and Brown University. Really beautiful area, old historic area. You can see a lot of green space right here. And the border for Pawtucket is right around here. So this is all known as the east side. And of course, the east side is broken into separate neighborhoods as well. We're going to save that for a different video. And then you have downtown. The river is actually what divides the east side from the rest of downtown. So you can see that there's actually a river right here. So mostly downtown, we've got condos, rentals. And then if you cross over 95, you have the west side of Providence. Federal Hill, this is Atwell's Avenue. So Federal Hill is the area sort of, historically was the Italian district. So lots of great restaurants, kind of moved away from that a little bit, but classically known as that. This is Broadway, the street right here. So this is also still Federal Hill. The Armory District is well known because there is actually Dexter Park and the Armory right here. So this historic pocket right here is known as the historic Armory District. This is Messer Street, where the historic district ends, and Chapin and Cranston Street. So that's where the neighborhood shifts a little bit more. Let's go. You've got South Providence, which really takes up this whole area. South Providence heads into, if we go south, we're into the Washington Park neighborhood. Again, when they built the highway, it cut off and divided two neighborhoods. This is where Roger Williams Park is. That's, I believe it's 590 acres. We've got a beautiful zoo there. And then right around right here or here is actually where the Cranston line is. So our neighborhoods really, and our towns really just kind of bleed right into the next. As a gal that moved here from the Midwest and also from Texas, where you've got lots of space in between, that was very different for me. So again, we've got Providence, or South Providence rather, we've got Federal Hill, and then when we start heading north, we get into the Valley District, Olneyville neighborhood, Mount Pleasant, the Elmhurst neighborhood, Wanskuck neighborhood, and Charles. So these are the main neighborhoods. Of course, there's some, and Smith Hill, let me not forget Smith Hill. So these are the main neighborhoods of Providence. What I really want to focus on is the Elmhurst neighborhood. Let me jump into, let's do a neighborhood boundaries. So I'm actually in MLS right now. So again, we've got the east side of Providence, we've got downtown, we've got Federal Hill and West End, Olneyville, Valley District, Mount Pleasant, and Elmhurst, Wanskuck, and Charles. and this starts shifting into Pawtucket. This starts shifting into North Providence. So Elmhurst is actually a fairly small neighborhood for this area. Now, when you're thinking about areas to move into Providence, you really have to focus on your budget. So the most expensive areas in Providence are going to be on the east side. The Federal Hill West End area has really popped over the past, I'd say, 10 years, 5 to 10 years, especially the past 2 years. The Elmhurst neighborhood was a bit of an alternative to the east side or to Federal Hill. It has definitely more of a suburban neighborhood feel to it, but the prices have really changed over the past couple of years. Now, the neighborhood is bordered by Chalkstone, Academy, Admiral Street. You have Providence College that is right over here. Smith Hill leads into the state capitol over here. You have Smith Street, which is a fairly busy street. And then you have all of these, Academy Ave is a fairly busy street. And then you have all of these side streets. Most of the students for Providence College are now either on campus or live more in this area and a little bit of this area, but not so much in the main part of the Elmhurst neighborhood. Most of the houses in Elmhurst range from the mid 350s up into the mid 500s. The east side now ranges mostly from around 600 and up. Same with Federal Hill. I would say that's mostly anywhere. You'll find the occasional house that's around 400 and above, but mostly it's a little bit higher. A few areas to note. There are some schools in the Elmhurst neighborhood. You've got Nathaniel Green, which is one of the middle schools. You've got Providence College. You've got LaSalle Academy. Those are the main areas. And then you have Rhode Island College, which isn't technically in Elmhurst, but very, very close. One of the things that I love is this, if you go to Providence College website, they've got this cool interactive map. This is what it looked like in 1925, and this is what it looks like now. That's a cool feature that they have, but you can really see how much the neighborhood has changed. It really was a lot of farmland that was developed. That's what Smith Hill and the central Providence area was where most people lived, and it was really farmland and retreat area in the Elmhurst neighborhood and beyond until the late 1800s and early 1900s, when that really started to be developed, and then really hit fast development in the 1920s through the 1950s. So that's when a lot of it changed. Some things that people really love about this neighborhood is that you still have a little bit of walkability. Now, granted, you're not going to have as much things to walk to as if you lived on Hope Street on the northern part of the east side, or as much as you can walk to if you live on the west side of Providence, because it has a little bit of a suburban feel, but it's close to get to those areas, and there are some really great restaurants and some little delis. There's all sorts of really wonderful, because it's a pretty diverse neighborhood, there's some really great ethnic options, just a lot of cultural opportunities to really get a feel for the neighborhood and the surrounding areas. I particularly love Los Andes. It's a Peruvian restaurant. It is amazing. In my opinion, it is one of the best restaurants in all of Providence, maybe even all of Rhode Island. Every time I go there, there's something different, and they've added on to it. Their ceviche in the martini glass is absolutely amazing. LaSalle Bakery has been a staple in the neighborhood for a long time, so that's another great thing to be able to walk to. There's also Big Tony's restaurant, Big Tony's Pizza. They've got great pizza and great sandwiches. And then there's also a few bars. There's the Elmhurst Pub, there's the Abbey. So, there's different things that you can walk to, and I think that's really important in a neighborhood. Let's jump back into the Google Earth map view. because this allows you to really see that there's a lot of trees in the Elmhurst neighborhood. And don't ever underestimate how important trees are to the quality of life and also market value of a neighborhood. You just see that there's a ton of trees in this neighborhood. There's a couple parks. Fragnoli Park has a really wonderful little playground for kids. They even got a little water park area. Providence College, people love to walk on the campus and check it out. And then there's also, let's scroll down. So this is Pleasant Valley Parkway right here, which is another defining feature in the neighborhood. It has a little walking path that goes through it. Again, beautiful, lots of wonderful trees. And then this is Chalkstone. So this serves as sort of a not quite central area to the neighborhood, but does help to be able to see it. So let's look at some of the houses that are actually for sale or pending. Again, this is right in the neighborhood. Let's open up this and jump in, and you'll see there are some beautiful examples of homes with some great period details. So, this is one of the things that people love about this neighborhood. There's also, you're going to have ranches built in 1978 that are part of this neighborhood because there was so much development that happened at so many different times. Classic colonials. Great little Tudor style homes with all of the classic details that people love. Great yards. So this really shows you, this is what people love about this neighborhood. Now, granted, the prices have gone up quite a bit. It used to be most houses were below 300 in this neighborhood, but over the past 2 years, that has really changed. So depending upon the age of the systems, depending upon the age of the house, that's really going to make an impact on what the prices are. Oh my gosh, this one had a fountain inside the house. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, this one was wild. So it's really fun. I love looking at houses in this neighborhood. And here's a great example of a classic mid-century. I mean, my goodness, look at that door. That's fantastic. So really lots of unique architecture in this neighborhood. And, relative to the rest of Providence, still considered a fairly affordable neighborhood with a pretty wide variety in prices. So that's it. I think this wraps up our tour of the Elmhurst neighborhood of Providence. I'm always here to help, so if you've got questions, feel free to reach out. I work with people all throughout the entire state. What's wonderful about Providence and also Rhode Island in general is that it's fairly small, so it's easy for me to understand and be able to break down literally every single neighborhood for you. So if you like this video, be sure to like it, leave a comment, tell me your favorite part of Elmhurst, and like I said, if you are thinking about making a move, then let's chat. Let me talk you through all of your different options, and we'll find out if Elmhurst or if there's another neighborhood that could be right for you. My name is Jess Powers.